mission of Special Olympics Vermont is to provide an environment for our athletes who have intellectual and developmental disabilities, a place where they can highlight their unique abilities through sports. 30 years ago, Jeff Davis was the board chairman, and he had some influence from other states that were doing this event to raise funds for Special Olympics athletes, where they would run in the winter and jump in the lake.
We actually stole the event from Maine and Rhode Island because they had started what they called the Polar Plunge at the time. So we had the first event. I've taken a lot of grief over the years because I was in Florida before the event, scheduled to fly up on Friday night for the Saturday morning plunge, and there was a snowstorm and my flight got canceled. And I couldn't get up here on Saturday. So Mayor Clavel, who was one of our earliest supporters, and he was at the first Penguin Plunge, had a lot of fun with me over the years about that. So plunge number 2, I was there, and we had a bigger group. I think we had about 25 people. So I just gradually got more publicity and more enthusiasm from the public to not only come down and watch, because it was fun to watch, but participate.
The Penguin Plunge is so important for the community because it supports Special Olympics Vermont, which offers people like myself and my friends the opportunity to get out and experience sports in a safe and inclusive environment. It makes my fellow athletes and I feel included and valued in the community. I've had the opportunity to compete and to win medals, which makes me feel proud and recognized. I have also made many friends in the community.
The plunge is so important because, number one, it promotes inclusivity. It promotes a sense of community that we surround our athletes with. And it raises 40% of our operating expenses, which is very important because we don't charge our athletes anything to participate in any of our sports, our school sports, our health initiatives. It's all free to our athletes. And so the funds raised through the plunge help support us throughout the year.
I've raised over $70,000 over the course of 14 plunges, and for a number of years I was the top fundraiser for the Cool Schools Plunge. One of my favorite Penguin Plunge memories was my first plunge in 2011, which fell on my actual 13th birthday, February 5th. But my absolute favorite memory was plunging in 2013 with inflatable emperor penguins.
You have 32 degrees of courage to jump in Lake Champlain. And I was like, let's do it. And it's progressed since then. It was maybe just me as an officer starting out. And then over the last couple of years, trying to get more law enforcement officers involved in this initiative, taking the plunge that raises so much funds for the athletes as well as awareness for Special Olympics in general. So as soon as you're jumping in the water and coming out, you've got athletes high-fiving you, passing you the towel as a way of saying thank you. And I think that partnership is really what makes it special.
We all have our own personal reasons why we jump and why we work with Special Olympics Vermont. For me personally, my uncle was an athlete, and so I have that personal connection. So last year was my first plunge, and I was very excited to participate. I was nervous, for sure, and I had a coworker tell me it's 45 seconds from the time you leave the warming tent until you're back changing. And I had to psych myself up a little bit and remind myself I can be brave just like our athletes are every day when they show up to compete. And so I did. I put on my brave face and I jumped in the lake, and it was incredible. Jumping in with my team as the very last team to jump in was spectacular.
Special Olympics board, staff, and friends, the Mighty Ducks, they are known as collectively the people who made this happen. In the water they go.
We had just pulled off our largest fundraiser, and we knew how much that would help our athletes throughout the year.
So the $600,000 will cover 1,000 of our athletes for a year of programming.
It's been amazing to see the plunge grow over the last 30 years. The commitment of our community has been incredible. It just speaks to the testament of the commitment of our community to our athletes.
30 years later, here we are, and a lot of other people have done all the work, including the team here at the Vermont Special Olympics today, does a great job, and they handle thousands of jumpers and lots of money, and they put it to good use, helping the athletes, and how can you not feel great about that?